Hey everyone, how's it going? We having a good day? I'm having a good day. Great news! I'm finally sleeping a normal schedule again. After so many weeks of going to sleep at like 10 a.m. and waking up at 4 p.m., I'm finally going to sleep at night again. Isn't that wild? For the past few nights, I've been going to sleep around 9 or 10 and waking up at 5 a.m., which, I basically have the sleep schedule of a 70-year-old, but that's okay. That's fine. That's the danger of working a night shift like I do, is your internal clock kind of gets messed up every so often. I'm just glad that, for right now, it's halfway decent. I can't complain about that. But today on Ron to John Rambles, I want to talk about a topic that is ever present in the Transformers fandom and toy collecting as a whole. Collecting as a whole, I should say, and that is the Holy Grail. Now, what is a Holy Grail? Well, the real world Holy Grail is the cup that Jesus drank from during the Last Supper, and it is the thing of legend. It's something that King Arthur searched for. It's something that if you've ever seen out of Indiana Jones 3, they go and they find the Holy Grail. It's one of those legends that will probably never fully go away, kind of like the Yeti or the Loch Ness Monster. But in terms of collecting, the Holy Grail is not a cup that Jesus drank from. I mean, I guess it could be if you like collecting cups that Jesus drank from. But for most of us collectors, the Holy Grail is something that is out of our reach for one reason or another. Now, there's a lot of different ways a Holy Grail can take shape. Maybe your Holy Grail is a thing that was never released or never came out. So it's an ethereal thing, no one's ever made it. Or maybe the Holy Grail was made, but was in such a limited quantity and is so expensive now, so hard to find, that it might as well not exist. But I do want to say this too, a Holy Grail does not necessarily have to be hard to find, it just has to be hard to obtain for that collector. There's plenty of things out there that have very readily available copies, but a fan who would really like them just can't grab them at the moment. There's a collector out there right now, I'm sure, who their Holy Grail is an Age of the Primes toy. But just because they've not been able to find the toy, they can't afford the toy right now, it's taken that position of the Holy Grail. And then there's some people whose Holy Grails, as I said, are toys that have never existed and maybe never will exist. It's a wide range of availability for Holy Grails. And it is a very subjective question. There's not a fandom-decided Holy Grail. This is a by collector thing, and we all have different things that we are looking for. So the Holy Grail is... There's a reason it is such a popular question to ask a fellow collector. It's because everyone has a different answer for it. Now, there are some people out there who really love the discussion of Holy Grails. As I say, it's a popular question, popular conversation starter. I really don't. When I talk to a collector or when I get interviewed, I really hate the question of a Holy Grail. Kind of like I hate the question of like, what's the worst toy you own? What's the worst toy line? What's the worst show? I hate those questions because I find them to be so not negative, but they can become a downer. My issue with Holy Grail discussion is I think that it's a reason for people to be unhappy. Because, of course, if you're always so laser-focused on what you want but don't have, how can you ever be happy with the stuff you do have? No, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have Holy Grails. Absolutely. Have the things that you want and be on the lookout for them. But especially in today's age of FOMO, where the toys are getting more expensive, I really tried to dissuade people like, hey, don't constantly focus in on what you don't have. That's a lesson I've learned myself recently. I've mentioned this in a few videos. I'm getting rid of like 90% of my collection right before a move I'm going to do in a few months. And a lot of it's just because I don't need a lot of these toys. So much of my collection, these are years and years and years of FOMO. Of me buying toys, it's like, well, I might as well have that toy, or I should get that toy, I'll make a video about that toy one day. And it made me really dislike my collection because I had so much stuff that I just had no connection to. And I feel like the Holy Grail, even though that's still a really fun question, it's a slippery slope. It's, once again, you're laser focusing on the things you don't own. It's a way to make yourself kind of upset with what you have. But it is a question that I think we all have an answer to. You know, what are the toys that we wish we had but don't have, would love to have someday? And I have a few of those. And I don't stay up at night, right? I don't have like an eBay saved search. These aren't toys that I'm actively pursuing. But I do have those toys where it's like, someday I would like to have those. And I figured this would be a great video to talk about what my Holy Grails are. Because I get the question so much, and I want to at least take part in this conversation. Even if it's a conversation I don't like, I feel like I still want to throw my 2 cents in. So, what are the Holy Grails of Ron Bondajon? What are the things that I want, but don't have, can't have, want to have? Well, admittedly, some of these are toys that are actually pretty widely available. I just haven't been able to find them yet. Some of these are toys that are not very well available, and I'm going to have to spend a pretty penny on them if I ever do want them. And then I even have a couple that just do not exist in any way, shape, or form, and that makes me really heartbroken that they don't exist. But I want to start with a toy that I actually do own the mold for, but I want the proper original. I want Beast Wars Metal's Megatron. That is the Takara Tomy release of Megatron's trans metal body, the gold and chrome purple T-Rex, his season 2 body from the Beast Wars cartoon. Now that toy does exist. That toy exists in great numbers, but he's also very expensive. Now why is Beast Wars Metal's Megatron so expensive? Especially when a lot of the Year 3 Beast Wars toys are somewhat easy to find nowadays. It's because his original toy, the American release, the Hasbro release of the Trans Metal Megatron, has gold plastic syndrome and shatters. The only way to get a toy of Trans Metal Megatron to this very day that won't fall apart is Metal's Megatron. And I say that it's because there's not been a Generations version of Trans Metal Megatron. We got his first body and his third body, but we still don't have that second body. There is third-party options, but the Toy World Legends class guy sucks. And there is that Trans Art Megatron, which looks beautiful. He does. He looks amazing. But I want the original toy, because I want that original Beast Wars Megatron to go on my Beast Wars shelf with all the other Kenner original boys. But I have not been able to find a Metal's Megatron quite yet. I would love to someday. I would love to, and he would be a treasured part of my collection. Until I get Metal's Megatron, I have Armada Predacon, who is also a really good toy. I love Armada Predacon. This isn't a thing where, like, I resent Predacon for not being Megatron. No. Even when I get Metal's Megatron, I'm going to keep Predacon because he's a good toy in his own right. But that's the reason why Metal's Megatron doesn't keep me up at night. Even though I do want him, I at least have Predacon to make me happy in the interim. Keeping with Beast Wars, another one of my Grails is Trans Metal Tarantulas, but not the original toy. I want the Fox Kids version. The one that's gray and black with the green highlights. And that's for a few reasons. For one, that is supposed to be a Vok-empowered Tarantulas, which is such a fun idea. Great idea. Zombie Tarantulas. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful toy-only fiction there. So much like fanfic fuel for that idea. Also, that's Shattered Glass Tarantulas now. So if I ever get around to doing that Shattered Glass Predacon shelf I talk about, I'm going to need that Tarantulas. But the big one is, it's just a really nice repaint. It's beautiful. Great looking toy. The gray, and then the black, and then just the hits of green. It's wonderful. If I were to make like a Halloween shelf, that guy would be front and center. Because Tarantulas is already such a creepy design, those colors just make it even better for a Halloween-themed anything. So 2 Holy Grails from the Beast era. Sick. What else is a Holy Grail of mine? Admittedly, a toy that does not exist, but I would like for it to. I'm looking for third party. I'm looking for Hasbro. I will pay you, but please make it. What I want is a new version of animated Megatron. I want a more show-accurate version. I'll take Generations. I'll take Masterpiece. I'll take Legends. I'll take third-party Masterpiece. I don't care. I do not care. I just want an animated Megatron that looks like the show. Because the animated Megatron toy, it's a good toy. It is. But it doesn't scratch the itch. It's a bit too clunky. The proportions are not quite right. I think that a lot of it comes down to the electronic gimmicks made to where Megatron couldn't be as perfect as he could have been. And it's a shame, right? When you look at the animated Autobots, the lineup is near perfect. Like, I think Optimus, Prowl, Ratchet, Bulkhead, Bumblebee, even characters like Magnus, Sentinel, Jazz, Jetfire, Jetstorm, they all look exactly as they do in the show. The only issue there is scaling, and I can live with bad scaling. But then you look at the Decepticons, and it's just a travesty. Megatron looks okay, but not quite right. Starscream, I think, is just an out-and-out bad toy. Lugnut is way too small. Blitzwing is great. No complaints about Blitzwing. Swindle self-destructs. By the way, let's just go ahead and say this. Megatron was one of the ethereal ones I wanted. One of the ones that I wish would be made. The other one that doesn't exist, but God, do I want them to exist. I want a new animated Swindle. I would prefer Masterpiece, but I would take Generations. And it's a shame because unlike Megatron, Swindle's animated toy was great. Like, the design is perfect. The issue is breakages. Translucent hips. Translucent fingers. Translucent shoulders. This toy's a time bomb. Can't play with it. Can't mess with it. They could even reissue this mold. Just make it opaque plastic. I'd be happy with that. So those are the two that aren't existing. Those two do not exist. A new Megatron and a new Swindle from Animated. But I would like them. So already I've given you 2 different examples from 2 of the categories. 2 figures that are readily available but just expensive. That's my Beast Wars guys over there. 2 figures that I would really want but just do not exist in any way, shape, or form. Those are the 2 animated guys. And now we get to that final category. Toys that exist and are available to some extent, but they are so hard to obtain that you might as well not even look. And there are quite a few of those. And I'm going to go for a pretty obvious one here. I'm looking at the BotCon boys. Specifically, I am looking at the Dawn... what was it called? The 2006 BotCon. Was it Dawn of the Dark Side? I forget. It's when they did all the Cybertronian modes for the Beast Wars, Predacons, and Maximals. And specifically, it is the Armada Hoist into Dinobot, the Cybertron Red Alert into Megatron, the Cybertron Crumple Zone into Optimus Primal, and then the Cybertron Ransack into Rat Trap. Those are the 4. I don't really want any of the other ones. Cheetor I don't think looks good. Rhinox I'm not really bothered by. Don't want the Tigatron they did. I actually already own the Air Razor. The Air Razor is my favorite out of any of them. The Chromia 10 Pilot. That's Energon Slugslinger into Air Razor. That's the best one I think they did. And I own that Air Razor. Thank God I do. That's the thing that kind of tides me over. But if money were no object, if I were to win a lottery tomorrow and be told, okay, go grab some toys you want, I would be going for these BotCon Dark Side guys. I really, really want specifically that Megatron and that Primal. Crumble Zone Primal is such a inspired thing. It's so ingenious. Admittedly, Ransack Rat Trap, I don't think that's as creative, but God does the body work. It really works such a treat. Same thing with Red Alert Megatron. And then as for Hoist Dinobot, I actually don't think it works as well, but the colors are so good, and the head is so perfect, that's what makes me want that Dinobot. So those are some of the Holy Grails that I would like. And you know what? Just because I bring this up at the beginning of the video, as I said before, not every Holy Grail has to be super expensive or super hard to find. I'm going to give you a couple of Holy Grails, toys that I'm always looking for when I go to the store, that actually aren't that impossible. Revenge of the Fallen Chromia. And that's just so I can finally complete my childhood toy collection. Armada Scavenger. Because God, do I love my Armada toys, and Scavenger looks great. The rest of the Armada Beast Wars repaints. So I already have the Megatron and the Air Razor repaints. I want Rhinox, Cheetor, and Terrorsaur. And finally, just one thing from third party. I really want to get that Mastermind Creations Ravage. That's like the IDW Lost Light Ravage that turns into a Beast Wars Ravage. Now you see, that group of toys I just said, those are all toys that you could go on eBay right now and get for decent money. They're not super crazy expensive. But the thing is, for those toys, I want to find them in person. I want to find them in person. I want to look them over, make sure that they're not broken. That's the reason I'm not just going and nabbing them right now. So those are my Holy Grails. As I said, these aren't toys that I dwell on. I'm at peace with my collection as it stands. I'm not going to be heartbroken if I never get any of these toys. They're just things that I would like to have if I could. If I could only have one out of this group? If I could only have one out of this group, who would I grab? I think my top priorities, Metals Megatron is my top priority. And right underneath him, yeah, it's probably those BotCon guys. It's the BotCon Primal, BotCon Rat Trap, BotCon Megatron, and the BotCon Dinobot. I'm just realizing I forgot Thrustinator. Thrustinator is also a Grail of mine. I would love to get Thrustinator someday. But those are my personal Grails. What are your Grails? What are toys that you wish you could own but don't right now? Let me know down in the comments. Keep in mind, there's no judgment here. So if you were to say that like your Holy Grail is Age the Prime's Flatline, trust me, I get it. It's hard to find toys nowadays. But I also want to preface this. Please don't let this line of thought ruin your collection. Please don't become obsessed with the stuff you don't own. Please don't think that just because you don't own some of these toys that your collection isn't valid. I hate that line of thought. I really, really do. I hate the line of thought that you hear in a lot of, admittedly, toy reviewers. I might have even said it myself at some point. But I hate the line of thought that's basically, you're not a fan if you don't own this toy. Or you're not a fan if you don't like this show. You're not a fan if you don't have a collection like this. Never let anyone say something like that to you. If they say something like that to you, fuck them. Let me rephrase that. I'm not saying to have relations with them. I'm saying... Goddamn, how do I say this? I'm saying don't listen to them, is what I'm saying. Right? Your collection is your collection is your collection. You don't have to build it to anyone's standards but yourself. If your collection is nothing but, Titan's Return, that's great. I'm happy that you love Titan's Return that much. If your collection's nothing but Beast Machines, good on you. There's good Beast Machines toys. And if your collection, you're almost ready and you got those final Grails that you're looking for, and that's what takes up a lot of your time in your hobby is toy hunting, good for you. But please just don't let it make you miserable. Please don't fall in for FOMO. Please don't buy a toy just because you feel like you have to prove it to someone else. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Your collection should be special, and your collection should bring you joy. If constantly yearning for the toys you don't have makes you dislike your collection, then I would really say, like, do some soul searching. Look at the toys you really like, appreciate the toys you got, and question, do you need every single toy that comes out? I've maybe bought... How many toys from Age of the Primes do I have right now? Because I bought quite a few, and then I sold off quite a few. I think right now from Age of the Primes, I have Red Alert, and I have Wasp. Those are the only Age of the Prime toys I have. Probably the only Age of the Prime toys that I'm going to get until we get Quick Strike. I might grab Flatline, if I ever see Flatline. Part of collecting is eventually realizing that you don't have to collect everything. From now on, my collection is going to be a lot of Beast Wars, Armada, Blockies, and Aldi. Those are the things that make me happy. So I guess my real next Grail are the things that are going to let me help finish those collections up. Let collecting stay special for you. And don't get bogged down with what's out there that you don't own. Because there's always going to be toys you don't own. There's just too many toys in the world for you to own them all. Quite frankly, there's too many toys coming out right now for someone to own them all. But that's just my 2 cents. If you're going to get mad at me in the comments about how much I dislike the idea of Holy Grail, fair for you. You know, it's just my own personal hang-ups. I'm not a big fan of it. But thank you guys for watching. And hey, we'll see what we get up to next time.